Fans of the Horus Heresy, thank you very much for joining me for a discussion around two recent articles that went up on the Warhammer Community website. And this is to do with the upcoming Horus Heresy Age of Darkness rulebook. So, if you're just wondering about any background sounds like a war zone, I'm recording this in the bonfire night season in the United Kingdom, so there are a lot of fireworks displays going on around the city and quite a lot of background noise. So, if you're wondering what that is, that's why. It might be a bit thematic given we're talking about warfare. Okay, so on the 30th of October, Warhammer Community posted an article informing us that the Age of Darkness rulebook was going to go on pre-sale. That was posted on Monday the 30th, so pre-orders will be available from Friday the 3rd of November. Okay, great. And it gave us a little bit of a taster for some of the content that's going to be in this book. I mean, you know, I'm sure you've all heard, but if you haven't, this book is essentially a consolidation of all the 7th edition rules that are relevant to playing the Horus Heresy game, so Warhammer 30k. And basically this is a consolidation exercise following the transition from 7th to 8th edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now, as to why Games Workshop / Forge World are keeping the Horus Heresy in the 7th edition is a debate for another video. But let's just consider what these two articles might mean. So that was Monday the 30th of October. Then a few days later, on Friday the 3rd of November, a second article was published, and this was a bit of a surprise, and it is titled The Horus Heresy Age of Darkness Rulebook Delayed. And it reads thus: "We know that you were expecting to be able to pre-order the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness rulebook. Yes, you told us. We're afraid you'll have to wait a little longer before you can order your copy. As your constant companion in your Legion's battles in the 31st millennium, it's important that the Horus Heresy rulebook is as good as it can possibly be. Following a print quality check, the decision has been made to delay the rulebook in order to make sure that it meets the exacting standards you expect from all Forge World products. We know you're eager to get battling in the Age of Darkness, and you can rest assured that the team at Forge World are working as hard as they can to get the rulebook ready as soon as possible, and it will have all the great content that we promised it would. Thanks for your patience, blah blah blah, etc." Okay, let's strip away the marketing speak, the PR spin from that, and what does it actually mean? So on the Monday, they told us that this book was going to be available to pre-order. 5 days later, it's not available to pre-order. What's going on here? So let's consider the possible explanations. First, they had the stock in, so they'd got all the books ready. They did a print check, a QC check on the actual books, and they found an error in them. It has happened before with Forge World products. Yeah, that is a possibility, that they've done some QC checks on the books and found that there are faults with them. Maybe printing errors, bound upside down, incorrect page numbers, etc. So that's one possibility. Okay, let's consider another possibility here. So the second possibility is Forge World and Games Workshop communications are not aligned. And Games Workshop, for some reason, had an idea as to when the Age of Darkness rulebook would be available, i.e. the Warhammer Community people, and in reality it wasn't available for that date. That is a possibility. Again, we have seen this before. Only last year, adverts were run for Horus Heresy Book 7 Inferno in White Dwarf, intimating a Christmas release, and of course it was released as per usual at the Horus Heresy Weekender, February 2017. So it's a possibility again that Games Workshop and Forge World communications and progress are not aligned, and we're getting mixed messages depending on who's talking. A third possibility is the book was written, printed, received, it was then QC checked, and they found an error in the actual writing, so i.e. the content the Forge World writers have created for this book. They QC'd it and found something wrong with it, and it is something so significantly wrong that they've decided to pull an entire print run of this book rather than release it. Is that a possibility? I don't know. Is it a possibility? Yes. I mean, Forge World writing team are in a state of flux. At least they were a few months ago. They were still short of a senior writer, obviously due to the passing of Alan Bly. So I imagine they've really been struggling to get this project completed. I'm sure all of us will be sympathetic towards them with overcoming those challenges. I mean, I think it's a very sensible thing to postpone release if there is even a slight problem with this book. It is in effect, it's an unnecessary book. We don't actually need this to play Horus Heresy. all the rules are available currently, and up until the appearance of 8th edition, basically everyone's been working from scattered content across various black books, red books, and Games Workshop 40k materials. You know, up until the advent of 8th edition, there's not actually been a need for a Horus Heresy core rulebook. If we're to believe everything they're saying about this, in that it is just a reconsolidation and a slight tweaking, and you know, there are some changes that they mentioned in this article. We don't know how many. They've been a little bit, shall we say, opaque as to how much has changed. They've said there's a couple of balance tweaks, and they've said they've consolidated the rules, but they're not intimating there's much else different about it. Given they're trying to sell this, say, well, maybe they don't want to oversell it. However, the Warhammer community are not necessarily always very good at communicating all the things that gamers are interested in with products to them. I've seen that with various articles that posted. So yeah, it's interesting, is this. I mean, to be quite honest, I don't really mind how long they take to bring it out, because as I say, it's not necessary to actually play the game. If you want to play 7th edition Horus Heresy, everything you need is already there. So to release this book in a state of anything other than perfect would be an unforced error on Forge World / Games Workshop's part, and there's no point doing that. Of course, there is a fourth option, which I'll just leave you with, is that they haven't actually completed the writing on this book, and they are still in the process of doing it, i.e. the writer shortage that they currently have. So that is also a possibility, and this is a bit of a smokescreen as to what's actually going on with the book. And I suppose when I say this is a fourth idea, well, this is maybe actually thinking is what might lie behind the first idea, of why Games Workshop might have one idea and Forge World have another reality as to when this book is going to be ready, and why the two are different. So it is interesting to consider those points. So maybe this is all too much speculation, but given the situation with Forge World writing team, I think there might be something more going on here, and it's worthy of consideration. Anyway, share your thoughts about the delay of this rulebook in the comments section as always. But other than that, just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.